And here, please, everybody must remember, since you has taken the bodhisattva vows, you should not mentally abandon any sentient beings, any human being. You should not think, I'm not going to have this person forever. If you think this way, if you have this thought, then next moment, your bodhicitta going to weaken, going to decline. Also must remember, every day you must remember the practice of bodhicitta for 6 times every day. Also here I must urge all of you, all of the practice must begin with the practicing or meditating on impermanence, particularly the death, because some of our Dharma friends, when they lost one of the dearest parents, dearest friends or relatives, then they really cannot understand, cannot accept the fact. Therefore, they feel so upset. They feel so unhappy. And that moment, if they try to apply Dharma, not easy, because the person already become, very unhappy. Therefore, every moment, every day, must remember impermanence and death and next life. So in order to born in higher realms or happy life, next life, so we must practice the 10 virtuous actions. Then, in order to free from samsara, we must practice the 3 mind trainings with the realizing selflessness, emptiness. Then, in order to achieve Buddhahood, we need to practice bodhicitta. The bodhicitta must be based on direct compassion. So, after you have bodhicitta, then you must take the vows based on one of the Pradimoksha vows. Then, if you wish to practice the Mahayana path, top of the Sutra Mahayana, then you need to receive initiation. Initiation means a permission from your guru to permit to study, practice the Vajrayana. When you receive the initiation, the higher Tantra initiation, make sure that you must maintain the samaya and vows. Since you have the Pradimoksha vows, Bodhisattva vows, Vajrayana vows, then you became one of the very important practitioners. So when you think about practicing the Vajrayana, so many people think the Vajrayana practice is mainly for recitation, visualization, offering parama to the idam. It is not. So once you receive the higher Yoga Tantra initiation, so you must know how to practice the 2 stages, the generation stage and the compilation stage. So when you practice the generation stage, you're going to learn how to have the extraordinary body. Then slowly, when you practice the compilation stage, then you will learn how to generate, how to accomplish the illusory body. So once you really follow seriously the Vajrayana path based on bodhicitta, realizing emptiness, put the serious effort, then you can achieve Buddhahood within one short lifetime. Therefore, in order to practice the Mahayana path, great compassion, bodhicitta is very, very important, particularly in order to practice the Vajrayana path, the Vajrayana, we must practice bodhicitta and emptiness. And also there are so many, some of the Tibetan masters who are in Tibet, so they also said there are differences between concept of emptiness based on the Mahayana and Sudayan teaching. This is not the right view. Based on the emptiness, there's no differences between Sudayan, Mahayana teaching. Emptiness is the same meaning. So therefore, please everybody practice the Buddha teaching in your daily life, particularly bodhicitta. Because when we practice Dharma, we're not practicing the Dharma as our culture, as our tradition. We must practice the Dharma as a very important for this life, very important for next life, very important for free from samsara, very important, very, very important for achieving Buddhahood. Once you really convince yourself that teaching is very important, then the study becomes very serious. Also, the practice becomes very serious. Also, we have some, beginner in this class. You are very beginner into Buddhism. So as a beginner, you can recite, certain mantra, you can do chanting. Those are the not most important practice. The most important practice, you need to practice impermanence, emptiness, great compassion, bodhicitta. Also, you must learn how to reduce anger, attachment, desire. Because in our daily life, so many problems we have because we cannot be patient. We don't have enough patience. So we need to practice patience in order to reduce anger. Also in our life, so many youngsters has a dissatisfaction about their job, about their life, about their position, about their name and fame, because they have very high expectation. They have a very high attachment about name, fame, position, belongings, property. Once you have a very strong, excessive attachment, then there's no way you can have a peaceful mind. You can have a happy life. Therefore, as a beginner, every day you must practice the non-attachment. You need to learn how to detach with your family, your friends, your belongings. Once you have a less attachment, then one day one of your dearest one, left this life, and that moment as a first time you feel a bit upset, a bit unhappy, but for you very easy to accept. It is easy to see the truth. Therefore, as a beginner, you should not put too much intention, too much motivation for reciting mantra, reciting, like doing chanting. You must focus on study, not only study and practice. Therefore, some of our friends who has a really great knowledge about Buddhism, Buddha Dharma, but they keep the knowledge as just simple knowledge. They never apply in your daily, their daily life. Therefore, some bad thing happen, they cannot accept because all the Dharma knowledge they keep in their mind as a knowledge. They never put into practice. Therefore, whatever you study, whatever you learn, you don't just learn, you must practice. So today we start. So after generate bodhicitta, so why we need to practice the 6 perfections. So we will begin the class why we need to practice the 6 perfections. Therefore, I think page number 85. At the beginning, there's a 3 outline. The reason why you must, very important, the reason why you must learn the training after developing the spiritual enlightenment, then demonstrating that you will not become a Buddha by learning either method or wisdom separately. First, you can see, what the reason why we need to practice the 6 perfection after we developing the bodhicitta. And also, why we need to practice the methods and wisdom together, not separately. So this is very important. We cannot, separate the wisdom and methods, which is I mentioned that in the last study. In order to cross the big ocean of samsara, in order to go to the Buddha land, in order to go to the pure land, so you need 2 wings. The wing of the methods, the wing of the wisdom. If you have only 1 wing, so you cannot really fly higher, you cannot cross the big ocean and lakes. Therefore, in order to cross the ocean of samsara, so we need 2 healthy wings. Why I said, the samsara of ocean? Because many Indian masters, include Buddha Shakyamuni, they always, put the ocean is as an analogy of the samsara. Because when you look at the ocean is so vast, also so deep. Once you drink in the ocean, doesn't matter how you are good in swimming, you cannot really cross the ocean. Ocean is so big. Within the ocean, there are so many different types of creatures, different kinds of animal in the ocean. They are very dangerous to eat you, kill you. Therefore, the samsara is look like big ocean. It's so deep, so vast. In samsara, so we have so many negative thoughts who always harm us. All the negative thoughts look like different creatures, different animals in the ocean. Therefore, in order to free from the ocean, we need to fly. We need 2 wings. Therefore, wisdom and methods. Therefore, if you practice only wisdom, is no good. If you practice only the methods, also you cannot achieve Buddhahood. Therefore, look at the demonstrating that you will not become a Buddha by learning either methods or wisdom separately. Then number 3, explanation of the process of learning the precepts. So precept here referred to the practice, not the vows. Now the reason why you must learn the training after developing the spiritual enlightenment, it is indeed, please everybody look very carefully, it's very important. It is indeed the case the great benefit comes from mere development of the bodhicitta, expressional bodhicitta, without learning the training of generosity and so forth. If you only develop, if you have the bodhicitta, if you don't practice the 6 perfection, still you can get so many benefits. Also, you can accumulate a great amount of merit every moment, every day. But only having bodhicitta, you cannot become a Buddha. Without learning the training of generosity and so forth. Consider in the regard the passage from the life of the Maitreya cited earlier. However, you still have to practice the bodhisattva training. Bodhisattva training means 6 perfections. If you do not emphasize this practice, you will never become a Buddha. So learn the bodhisattva deeds. So bodhisattva deeds, bodhisattva training here is a synonymous. So that means simple you should think, through practicing the 7 cause and effect, I can generate bodhicitta. Not only generate, I can accomplish bodhicitta. Still, I need to practice the bodhisattva trainings, mainly the 6 perfections. Otherwise, I cannot be Buddha. Right? Therefore, great compassion is look like seeds. Then bodhicitta is like a sprout of the seeds. So in order to continuously grow, in order to give a fruits, the sprout, we need to add water, we need to add soil, we need to protect the sprout. Then slowly the sprout become bigger, stronger. One day there's a flower, then one day we can have a good fruits. Therefore, bodhicitta, you just can imagine, look like a sprout. In order to protect the sprout, in order to give the fruits from the sprout, we need to put soil, water, proper, like a heat, and keep in the proper environment. Therefore, 6 perfections are the enlightenment is for the great bodhisattvas who take practice to heart. Look at so who can achieve the enlightenment? Bodhisattva, not the hearer and solitary realizer. The how, why the bodhisattva can achieve enlightenment? Because of take practice to heart. The bodhisattva who take practice to heart. So bodhisattva can achieve enlightenment because bodhisattva practice the heart of the practice, which is bodhicitta. Bodhicitta, right? Then next sentence you can say, but not for those who take the wrong practice to the heart. So some practitioner wish to achieve Buddhahood, they only practice emptiness, renunciation, ethical discipline, not bodhicitta, then he or she cannot achieve enlightenment. Therefore, take practice to heart. Why? O Prince, because when you take practice to the heart, perfect enlightenment is not hard to attain. This sentence is very important, right? Many people think, achieving Buddhahood is so difficult. Yes, it is difficult if you practice the wrong path. Achieving Buddhahood, achieving enlightenment is very easy if you practice the right path, which is bodhicitta. Therefore, many of us, I think all of you, you consider as a Mahayana practitioner, the follower of the Mahayana. But many occasions, we don't try to practice bodhicitta. We do very simple recitation, chanting, then making offering, do kind of some dharma activities. Never think the bodhicitta is very, very important as a heart. If your heart is very healthy, if your heart is, say, beeping every day, then all the organs can be functioned. If the heart stops to breathe, pumping the blood in your brain and other parts of body, then all of the organs is going to, right. Therefore, please everybody think bodhicitta is look like heart within our body. Heart is very important. Therefore, bodhicitta is look like heart. Therefore, take practice to heart. Why? Oh, Prince, because when you take practice to heart, perfect enlightenment is not hard to attain, right? It gives us very strong kind of aspiration. Practice means the methods of cultivating bodhicitta, learning the bodhisattva training. That means first you practice bodhicitta, the top of the bodhicitta, every day you practice the 6 perfections. The next sentence, the bodhisattva who have thus developed spirit of enlightenment understand that without disciplining themselves, they cannot discipline others, and so involve themselves in the practice of generosity and so forth. Without practice, they will not attain enlightenment. Thus develop the spirit of enlightenment, understand that without disciplining themselves, they cannot discipline others. Therefore, why bodhisattva practice 6 perfections? Therefore, bodhisattva wish to tend, wish to discipline others. So in order to discipline others, first the bodhisattva, him or herself, must be practice the discipline. Therefore, before bodhisattva explained generosity, first the bodhisattva, him or herself, must practice generosity. The second, he can teach. Unmute.
Disconnected again.
No.
Geshe, you are on mute again.
Oh, it's good. Okay, thank you. Without practice, they will not attain enlightenment. Right? Please, everybody
所以
remember.
不如理奉行多好，才
I
会
want
得
to
成
practice.
佛。
Everybody must remember, somehow I want to be Buddha. This lifetime or after next life. How I can be Buddha? I must practice bodhicitta as a heart. Very important. It is just enough to practice bodhicitta for becoming Buddha? No. Top of the bodhicitta, first you must practice the 6 perfections. Once you practice 6 perfections, then you can teach to others about the bodhicitta, about the 6 perfections. Without you yourself practicing 6 perfections, so you really cannot, teach how to practice the 6 perfections. Therefore, bodhisattva must practice the 6 perfections. Then there's a quotation from the Chandrakirti, the commentary on the component valid cognition says, in order to destroy the suffering, the compassionate work at actualizing the methods. So, in order to destroy the sufferings, here are 2 kinds of suffering, the gross and subtlest sufferings. In order to free from suffering, you need to practice you need to practice great compassion. Without great compassion, you cannot practice bodhicitta. Without bodhicitta, you cannot be free from all kinds of sufferings. So you must remember the steps. So next, we just jump to the next paragraph. Okay, we continue. Those who have great compassion for others feel they need to relieve other suffering. To relieve it, the kind thoughts, may they be free of their suffering. It is not enough. Yes, therefore, if you have a compassion, if you are a very compassionate person, you always wish, all sentient being relief from suffering. It's a very kind thoughts. It's a very compassion thought. But the only kind and compassion thought is not enough to relieve others from sufferings. Therefore, they must engage in the methods that will bring about. Here again, the methods also refer to the 6 perfections. Now, if they do not first engage in those methods themselves, they will be unable to free others. Therefore, if you were to work for others, therefore, you must first discipline yourself. It referred to there's another quotation. So here you must remember, first, I need to practice bodhicitta. Then I must practice 6 perfections. Only bodhicitta, only have a great compassion, you become very kind person. You have a very kind thoughts. But you cannot relieve others from sufferings because you are not practicing the 6 perfections. When you practice 6 perfections based on a bodhicitta, then you will be Buddha. Then you can relieve all sentient beings from sufferings. You will not become a Buddha by learning either methods or wisdom separately. Please always remember this sentence. It is not enough just to want to attain Buddhahood. You must engage in the methods of achieving. So you must practice the 6 perfections. This method has to be unmistaken because no matter how much you strive on the mistaken path, you will not obtain result. Like milking a horn, they hope to getting a milk, even if the method is unmistaken. So look at this sentence now. The method has to be unmistaken because no matter how much you strive on the mistaken path, you will not obtain the result. This is a very important advice. So many of us, we study Dharma, we practice Dharma. That means actually we say, I practice Dharma. The Dharma which we have been practicing is actually maybe we practice the wrong path. Wrong path. Therefore, we have been practicing Dharma for many years. We cannot have the result. You cannot see yourself, you cannot see the result of the practice of Dharma because we say, I practice Dharma. But actually, the Dharma which we have been practicing for many years is the wrong path. It's a wrong Dharma. It doesn't mean that the teaching is wrong. The teaching is very correct teaching, but we have a misunderstanding how to practice the path, how to practice the Dharma. Therefore, first we need unmistaken path, unmistaken Dharma and path. Then we must practice. Then we can have the result. We can see the result. For example, someone was very angry for many years. Everybody become enemy with the person. Then somehow the person study Buddha teaching. Then they correctly, unmistakenly, they practice compassion, love, tolerance. Therefore, within the few months, few years, the person can totally change because the person practice the unmistaking path, which is great compassion. There's other person who also very angry, very unhappy. Other person also study Dharma and practice Dharma, but the person practice Dharma for many years, but you cannot see, the person has changed because the person put effort into the wrong path. Therefore, it is very, very important. Make sure the Dharma which you have been practicing is the right path, is a correct path. If you put effort to the right path, definitely you can see the result, you can feel the result, other people can see the result. Therefore, it's so important to put effort to practice the unmistaking path. Then there's another important sentence. Look, even if the method is unmistaken, if it is not complete in all particulars, striving will not bring the result, just as the absence of seeds, water, earth, or light will particular the production of the sprout. Therefore, first, we need unmistaken Dharma path must practice. Yes, the path is very unmistaken, but we must practice very completely, make sure nothing missing. Therefore, look at first we need to recognize, we must know what does mean bodhicitta. How to generate bodhicitta. Once you have an unmistaken idea how to practice bodhicitta, how to cultivate bodhicitta, then you can practice bodhicitta for many months or many years, then you can have a bodhicitta. But the bodhicitta is very unmistaken path. Still, if you don't practice the 6 perfections, the practice of bodhicitta cannot be complete. It becomes very incomplete. Therefore, it's quite, today TBC quite busy, it's quite noisy, it's okay. Therefore, first we need unmistaken path like a bodhicitta. If you only practice bodhicitta, then the practice of the path become very incomplete. In order to practice the bodhicitta very complete way, then you need to practice the 6 perfections. First, unmistaken methods. Second is a very complete methods. Then there's analogy, right? Just as a absence of the seeds. So the seeds is absent. Then water, earth, will particular the production of the sprout. So absence of the seeds doesn't matter how much you put water, soil and earth, whatever, you cannot see the result because the cause is very incomplete. Therefore, in order to complete the practice, so at the beginning I mentioned, first you must recognize the Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, and take refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, from your heart. Then daily life, you always practice the 10 virtuous actions. Always abandon the non-10 virtuous actions. Then you think about, you contemplate about the samsara, the cause of the samsara. Then slowly you're able to generate the renunciations. Once you're able to recognize the root of the samsara, which is ignorance, then you must know how I can, get rid of the root of the samsara, which is ignorance. Therefore, second, you have an idea, I must realize emptiness. Then you have pure faith into Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. You always practice the 10 virtuous actions, and also you have the renunciation. The renunciation based on realizing the nature of samsara, the cause of the samsara, then you will realize emptiness. Then you practice bodhicitta. Above top of the bodhicitta, then you practice the 6 perfections, then your practice is become very complete. In your heart, you always believe in Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, and your action is always a virtuous actions. And what you practice, all practice become very pure dharma because you have renunciations. You already reduce all the negative thoughts. I haven't, get rid of them or reduce the negative thoughts. And then when you realize emptiness, then almost you minimize all the negative thoughts, include the ignorance. Particularly, once you realize the nature of samsara, the cause of the samsara, then you fully reduce the worldly concern. Because many of our dharma practice become very impure because we have a very strong worldly concerns. Someone do recitation, chanting in order to compete someone. Somebody study Buddhism, practice Dharma in order to have a name and fame and positions. Somebody study or practice Dharma in order to earn a lot of wealth. Therefore, if you don't have a pure renunciation, all the practices, all the study of Dharma become very impure. Therefore, once you have a renunciation, all practices become very pure. Once you have a bodhicitta and 6 perfection, all your practices become direct cause to achieve Buddhahood. Therefore, what does mean complete? Incomplete. Result, therefore, if you honestly start to mistaken cause, even a tremendous amount of time will not bring you the desired result. Therefore, we must recognize the unmistaken practice. So there's a question, next sentence. What then? How we can practice how I can complete my practice? Is kind of question. What then? Is the unmistaken and the complete set of the cause and conditions is the question asked by Vajrapani, Lord of the Secret. The answer by Buddha to the Lord of the Secrets, the sublime wisdom of omniscience. Please remember this sentence. The sublime wisdom of omniscience comes from the compassion, right? That means the omniscience, the Buddha minds, the Buddhahood, enlightenment, those comes from where? Compassion. The compassion as its root. Then it comes from the spirit of enlightenment, its cause. It is brought to the complete by methods, right? Therefore, the Buddhist great compassion is look like seeds. Then bodhicitta is a method. Method is the cause. Then is brought the completion by methods. That means 6 practice of the 6 perfection is some methods. Now I think here we are very clear. You can see very clear steps. Buddhahood is our achievement. The Buddhahood, the omniscient comes from where? Great compassion as a sit. Great compassion. Come from the compassion is root. Root as a sit, most important. If no compassion, then there's no root. Then there's no sprout, no tree, no fruits. Root. Then bodhicitta, cause. Very important root, right? If there's a root, then you can add water, soil. Slowly the root come out. As you can see the sprout grows. Then slowly you can see the tree. Then you can see the fruits. Great compassion sits like it's a root. But if you have only great compassion, but the compassion cannot be cause to achieve Buddhahood. So in order to transform all the practices to cause to achieve Buddhahood, then we need to practice bodhicitta. Therefore, bodhicitta is a cause. Then, second is methods. If you practice only great compassion, bodhicitta, then not practicing sixth perfection, then you cannot really see the progress of practicing bodhicitta and practicing great compassion. In order to have a great result, in order to have a great progress of practicing bodhicitta, then you need to practice six perfection. Methods refer to the six perfections. Lord of the secret, the sublime wisdom of omniscience comes from compassion as its root. It means the omniscience come from the spirit of enlightenment is a cost. Is brought to the completion by methods. Therefore, at the beginning, we need great compassion as a root. In middle, we need the bodhicitta is the most important cause to achieve Buddhahood. In order to complete the course, we need to practice the methods, which is sixth perfection. Based on great compassion, bodhicitta, when we practice sixth perfection, then the practice becomes very complete for achieving the omniscient, complete course to achieve Buddhahood. Please remember this sentence. In regard to this sentence, I have already explained the compassion. Remember compassion as a seed, as a soil and water, as a reaping the result. Remember, therefore, in Chandrakirti, so before he composed the engage into the middle way, first he saluted, he prostrated to the great compassion. Great compassion. So, Lama Tsong-kha-pa already explained the compassion is important in the beginning, important in the middle, important at the end. Compassion. The great Treatise Kamalashila explained that the spirit of enlightenment, both conventional and ultimate of the enlightenment, and the methods is all virtues such as generosity and so forth. So bodhicitta can be true, conventional, ultimate truth. Here, mainly we is talking about the conventional bodhicitta. Then since here, there's a point of view from the, Chinese teacher. Opinion, the position, some person like the Chinese Hasang. So I will tell you here very short story or history of the Chinese teacher. I think around the 7th century, the Buddhism, mainly flourished from India, from the Nalanda University. So before Buddhism really flourished to it's not just begin, completely flourished to Tibet from India. There were already Chinese Buddhism flourished to Tibet, not the vast way. I think few parts of Tibet, particularly in Lhasa. In Lhasa, there's a temple or institute called Samye. Samye was a very important institute. Samye has different sections. One section is particular for translation sections. Therefore, that time, all the Buddha teachings, including Indian master teaching, they already began to translate into Tibetan language. That means translation sections. Then there's another section they call the meditative sections. There's another section they call the section for the lay practitioner. There's another section they call the section mainly for the full audience section, or like section for Shila. So the lay practitioner, they wear the lay person robe, mainly white color. They mainly do a lot of ritual in order to subdue all the bad spirit that time. The translation section did a lot of translation. Then the meditative section is mainly belongs to the Chinese master who lives in Samye. According to their tradition, the Chinese master tradition, he said to the disciples, all the students, we no need to practice great compassion, bodhicitta, sixth perfection. We must practice only emptiness. Only emptiness. No need to practice other than the emptiness. So, according to this Chinese master Hasang, he totally rejects practicing great compassion, renunciation, bodhicitta, sixth perfection, because there's a reason. So this is the, so he said only practice or meditate on emptiness. According to his tradition, according to his point of view, emptiness means you should not think anything in your mind. Your mind totally became empty. There's not any thoughts. You should not have any thoughts. Just clean your mind without any thoughts. No thoughts. Emptiness means you should not have any thoughts. Nothingness. Always meditate on nothingness. Nothing there. Right? So here you can see the few sentences. Who have the mistaken idea about the path of the two types of spiritual enlightenment says that any thoughts, non-virtuous thoughts, of course, but even the virtuous one burns us to second existence. So here's a reason. We should not have any thoughts. Negative thought, of course, it's no good. Even though we should not have a positive thoughts, because both the negative thoughts, the positive thoughts, the negative virtues, the positive virtues, both bound us in the samsara. Therefore, he said we should not have any thoughts. Second is he say here, so its result do not transcend single existence. It is like being tied up with a golden rope or with a no ordinary rope, like white or dark cloud covering the sky, or like the pen from the being bitten by white or black dog. Therefore, just sitting on mind in the state that lacks any thoughts is the part for further Buddhahood. Right now it's become very clear. We should not have any thoughts. if you have a bad thoughts, definitely it bound into samsara. Positive thoughts also bound into samsara. Therefore, the both thoughts always cannot be transcendent from the second existence. Therefore, should not have a thoughts. Then the analogy, can you see in the golden rope or ordinary rope? Doesn't matter which thread, you feel painful. Doesn't matter white dot, black dot, whichever beaten, you have a suffering. Therefore, he said we should not have a thoughts. You totally, could not accept practicing compassion, so and so. So this is the, the point of view from Chinese master. Then since here, I think there's a few pages. It's mainly, reject his point of view. Now, please everybody turn over page number 93. 93. At the last paragraph. Page number 93, the last paragraph. Deeds, again, deeds here refer to the practice of the six perfection or methods. The deeds imbued with the philosophical view and the wisdom imbued with the methods may be understood by way of analogy. Therefore, when we practice the methods must imbued with the wisdom. So when we practice wisdom, the practice of wisdom must imbued, must conjoin with the wisdom. Please, every day when you do practice, you must remember this sentence. When you practice compassion, tolerance, taking refuge, practicing generosity, recitations, is included into practice of methods. Which methods you practice must imbued means conjoin, hold, conjoin with the wisdom. When you practice wisdom like impermanence, emptiness, selflessness, so when you practice the wisdom, the practicing wisdom must imbued with conjoin or hold by methods. So that means, these two never be separate, always conjoined together. So how these two we can practice simultaneously together, inseparably. So analogy. When a mother sticking with grief at the death of her beloved child, engage in conversation and other activities with other. The feeling she expressed does not eliminate the force of her grief. This is one of the, I think, easy or best analogy. For example, one mother has just only one child. If there are two children, one lost it, so she feels grief, but not that strong. The mother has only one beloved child. Somehow the child passed away. She feels so upset. She has a very strong grief. Then when she met someone and she was talking with someone, or she has a lot of other activities, but when she talks with someone, when she does some activities, in the deep down, she always remember her beloved child, right? Actually, she's not talking about, her child, but still in her mind, she always remember the son or daughter who passed away. When she does some other activities, cooking food, washing clothes, clean the room, or whatever she does, she was, doing the other activities. But in the deep down, in her mind, she always remember, the loss, the beloved child. This is the analogy. The next is put into practice. Yet not even every feeling that expresses necessarily grief. Similarly, if the wisdom that knows emptiness is very strong, even though the state of mind is associated with the giving, making of sense, circumambulating or reciting are not cognitions of emptiness. They still do not preclude your being involved in the while endowed with the potency or force of the cognition of emptiness. Important, right? Emptiness. Therefore, how we can practice unanimely, methods and wisdom. Now is based on the wisdom. So first, we need to realize emptiness. I always said to you in class, when we study emptiness, when you listen the teaching about emptiness, it's so difficult to understand. So difficult to understand, we feel so difficult to realize emptiness. So when we listen teaching about compassion, bodhicitta, love, for us feel very easy to understand. Also, we think it is very easy to practice love and compassion, bodhicitta. We think this way. Emptiness so deep to realize. The great compassions are very easy to understand, very easy to practice. We think this way. Actually, it's the opposite. So many masters says it is opposite. Emptiness is so difficult when you listen, when you study, you feel it's very difficult. Actually, it's very easy to realize emptiness. Emptiness is very easy to realize, difficult to understand, easy to realize. And great compassion and bodhicittas are very easy to understand, but very difficult to practice. Difficult to practice. Why? How? Because emptiness, look, emptiness is the nature of the phenomena. So when you, through logics and reasoning, through analytical kind of study and analytical meditation, slowly you will realize the true nature of phenomena. It's nothing to do with the compassion, love, tolerance. You just need to know the truth nature. Once you realize emptiness, then there's no any dangers to change the view. You always can, accept, you always can understand things are exist that way. Nothing can become very obstacle to forget the view of emptiness when you realize emptiness. So bodhicitta is not like that. Great compassion, for example, due to your lot of effort, you're able to accomplish great compassion today. So tomorrow morning, when you meet, very annoying person, very mean person, then you cannot practice compassion. You cannot practice bodhicitta. The person is so annoying. So today you have a compassion, tomorrow you cannot. Also, when we practice compassion, great compassion, we said, for all sentient beings. When we think about all sentient beings, the number of those sentient beings is numerous. Then you feel how I can have a compassion towards all sentient beings is too much. Also, when we have a compassion, we think also verbally we said, I will remain in samsara until end of the samsara. So when samsara going to end? Because there's a numerous, numberless sentient beings. When we think about the duration is too long. When we think about, the particular person are so annoying, so mean. So it's not easy to practice. Great company, easy to understand, difficult to practice. Emptiness, difficult to understand, easy to realize. When you realize, you can have the view always. You're not going to change your view. Compassion or like that. Therefore, so how we imbue two together. Therefore, at the beginning, let's say, at the beginning, first you meditate on impermanence and death, not just verbally, you really need to feel, the death, the moment of the death. So when you really have a strong feeling or strong sense of scare about death, within the having the sense of scary about death, then you do recitation, chanting, prostration, all the practices conjoined with the realized impermanence. Same way at the beginning of your practice, beginning of your recitation, chanting, or beginning of your daily activities. At the beginning, if you have a strong meditation on emptiness, very strong and powerful kind of meditation emptiness, then the influence, the energy always in your mind while you are reciting, chanting your daily activities. That's mean all the activities imbued with the wisdom, which is emptiness. And also bodhicitta same. At the beginning, you generate bodhicitta, meditate on bodhicitta for 10-20 minutes, then you have a very strong kind of motivation for becoming Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Then after it, when you engage into any practices, simple recitation, chanting, all the practices, imbued or conjoined or held by great compassion, bodhicitta. Then all your practices become practice of the Mahayana practices. So here, what I'm saying, so somehow, we everybody do a lot of recitation and chanting. Every day you do a lot of activities. Please start to conjoin with the wisdom, which realizes emptiness, or great compassion. Just start to conjoin with the one of the practices. So this is how we need to imbue methods with the wisdom with the methods. The next sentence, so furthermore, you should not, this is also very important, further same page numbers 94 in the middle, furthermore, you should not misconstrue statement that things in second existence such as your body, resource, and so long lifespan are the result of the collection of the merit. They are so only in the absence of skill in the means and the wisdom. When collection of the merits are imbued with this, it is entirely proper that they are the cause of liberation and omniscience. Therefore, look at, without practicing bodhicitta or emptiness, all our merit, all our positive actions, all our positive karma, and only cause to have a samsaric things. Let's say without bodhicitta or practicing bodhicitta, without practicing emptiness, if you give your everything to others, include your body, speech, everything you give away, with the good motivation, pure motivation, but the result is always samsaric. Without practicing bodhicitta or emptiness, you practice ethical discipline for whole life. Again, the result only in the samsaric. Therefore, until now, we have been doing a lot of dharma practices, dharma activities. All the result will give you the samsaric pleasant, samsaric good thing, never be caused to achieve Buddhahood. Once all your practices conjoined with the bodhicitta, emptiness is caused to Buddhahood. Look at when collection of the merit are imbued with this, it is entirely proper that they are cause of liberation and omniscience. We say liberation, omniscience. All your practices only imbued with the wisdom which is realized emptiness, then it causes to achieve liberation, only liberation, no Buddhahood. Liberation. If your merit, positive action, your practice is conjoined with the wisdom and bodhicitta, they cause to achieve Buddhahood. Therefore, those sentences are very important. Look at when collections of merit are imbued with this, it is entirely proper that they are the cause of liberation and omniscience. They are limitless passage in this scripture, which say as much such as the one of the precious garland. So there's so many, like a quotation you can read. So this is, I think, few important sentence you must remember. Then you can go all the way to the page number 101, 102, 102. In between is mainly, the rejection about the view from the Chinese master. You must remember what the Chinese master said. He said, you only practice emptiness. Nothing else is become, not important. No need to practice compassion, bodhicitta, 6 perfections. Those are virtues, but the result is still in the samsaric result. The rest of the mainly rejection about the Chinese masters. Also, Lama Tsong-kha-pa didn't reject about practicing emptiness, but the Chinese master has a wrong idea about practicing emptiness. For him, practicing nothingness. That means you should not have any thoughts. You just, clean your thoughts. Okay, so now I think 4:30, so we can have a time for Q&A.
Hi, Irene. You have a question? I'll unmute you.
No question,
Yeah.
right?
Oh,
So,
hi, Geshe.
Irene.
Yeah, this is actually Irene's spouse. So yeah, that's why I sound like a man. So quick, I describe first before I ask the question. So usually, I mean, a lot of people study the Dhamma. Maybe at the start is out of fear for yourself, right? Out of for yourself, you're afraid, for whatever reason. So you study the Dhamma. Then over time, hopefully, as your compassion increase and your self-cherishment drops, then that fear will slowly reduce. Then you will find that you are actually studying more, not just for yourself, but for other sentient beings, right? So during that time, as your fear reduce and your compassion increase, will it be your sense of urgency will reduce? Because when you are studying for yourself, out of fear, you will tend to work very hard. Then when you start to have compassion, then it's like, okay, I'm really starting to help sentient beings. That sense of urgency, will it go reduce? And that will directly affect the discipline as well.
Actually, sense of urgency can be 2 types. So bodhisattva always urgent to achieve Buddhahood. The more he become compassion, the urgency become more urgent to become Buddha. The second urgency about, is their daily needed. So all the short-term urgency going to be reduced, going to be disappear. For example, someone before practice great compassion, bodhicitta, he or she was very conscious about their health, their family. Those are the temporal urgency. So when the practitioner practice great compassion based on accept all sentient beings are, they are, him or her dearest one, then the urgency of our family going to be disappear, going to be no more important. The one urgency is always there. For example, he's mentioned, when you are very relaxed in somewhere, you are be relaxed somewhere, suddenly if you got a fire on your head, there's no time to be relaxed. You become very urgent to snap the fire. Therefore, Bodhisattva always feel the urgency to become Buddha, to benefit all sentient beings. Also, thank you so much for asking this question. Also, as a beginner, how many people, took interest in Buddhism? So they have so many different kinds of problems in life. Then slowly, they are looking how to overcome, the problem in daily life. First, they visit some kind of psychologists or doctors or, like teachers or friends, get advice how to overcome. Finally, they think, I think why not I try the Dharma? Maybe Dharma can solve my problem. Therefore, most of people, got interested in Dharma based on how to solve the problem in their daily life. Here, I think very important, doesn't matter which problem you try to solve through applying Dharma, you must know the meaning of Dharma, the pure meaning of Dharma. Dharma means transformation or changes. So when you have a sense of fear about, like this day, many people have a very sense of fear about their future. I'm not talking about future life due to the COVID-19. So many people lost job, in particular in Singapore. I know so many, our friends, they lost job. Please always remember, this moment I am jobless. It doesn't mean you can be jobless forever. All situation will change. The COVID-19 situation will change within, I think, 4 to 5 months. So you when you feel very insecure, feel very unhappy, not having job, you always think everything will change. That means apply the Dharma, which is realize impermanence, changing, momentarily changing due to the causal condition. Or also, some of you become very unhappy when you lost your dearest one. Also, that moment, when you feel very unhappy, you feel very loneliness, also try to overcome the sadness, loneliness, to apply the Dharma. So therefore, before something happened, before you lost, your dear one, before you lost your expensive things, always remember these are the conditioned phenomena. it can be changed anytime. It's changing momentarily. The gross impermanent can be happen anytime. If you are prepared, mentally prepared, actually something happen for you, very easy to accept the fact. So it doesn't matter what kind of problem you face, always try to overcome the problem using the Dharma knowledge, using the idea you got from the Dharma. Also, many our friends, when they lost someone, they feel so upset. But always remember, as a Buddhist, we believe in next life. So our dearest one, he or she left this world, still he or she continuously born somewhere. Instead of having so upset, so unhappy, do some good things and dedicate the merit to benefit the people, the person who passed away. So therefore, in Buddhism, we always teach you the mental preparation. What happened, always be ready to accept. Yes, when someone becomes bodhisattva, all the temporal urgency no more there. Only urgency for becoming Buddha is very, very urgent. It looks like catch a fire on the head, and the person cannot be relaxed. They're very urgent to snap the fire, like all the bodhisattvas like that. Thank you. Any question?
Right, thanks, Geshe.
Yes, Geshe. The next question comes from Sandra. Her question is, we should not have any negative thought nor positive thought. Does it mean we should not have positive thinkings?
I think you are asking the question based on the Chinese master Hassan. He said we should not have a negative thought nor positive thought. Both positive and negative thoughts bound in the samsara. The positive thoughts look like the white dog. The negative thoughts look like the black dog. Doesn't matter which dog bite it, but you have a suffering. It's no. We always have a positive thoughts. Should not have a negative thoughts. The positive thoughts can be two. One, right now we have a lot of positive thought like compassion, tolerance, love, believe in Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, sense of caring, sense of sharing. We must have this positive thought. This positive thought right now we have, it cannot be really caused to achieve Buddhahood or omniscience or liberation unless combined with the practice of bodhicitta, combined with the practice of emptiness. Yes, we must have a positive thoughts. Why we name positive and negative? Just feel yourself. Everybody feel ourselves. When anger arises, how do you feel? How do you feel peaceful? Do you feel happy? No. When you get angry, can you say other people feel very peaceful, very happy? No. But the anger arises, first destroy your peace of mind. You become very unhappy. Slowly, other people become very unhappy. This will be called negative. The positive lies a compassion. When you have a compassion for 10, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour, you feel very relaxed. You feel very peaceful. When you have a compassion, when you are a very compassionate person who live around you, the people who live around you, they also feel very peaceful, very happy. The person not really practicing compassion, due to your influence, due to your energy, other people also can feel peaceful and happy. Therefore, we must have a positive thoughts. Since we study Lamrim, since we study bodhicitta, emptiness, all our positive thoughts always try to conjoin, imbued with the bodhicitta, with the emptiness, then all the positive thoughts going to be direct cause to achieve Buddhahood. Otherwise, it's a positive, it gives you a positive result, but the positive result in only the samsaric level. For example, you practicing generosity for many years without practicing bodhicitta emptiness. Then the result of the generosity, you can have a wealthy, rich life in next lifetime. So the rich become rich, having all the wealth, fame, is samsaric, things. It's not beyond the samsara. Yes, you should have a positive, should not have a negative thoughts. Next question, please.
Yes, Geshe. The next questions will be from Joanne. Hi, Joanne. Can you unmute your? Yeah, you are unmuted. So.
Hi, good afternoon, Geshe.
Good afternoon.
Yes, I just wanted to ask in Amitabha Pure Land, right? What is really the difference between form and formless? Now, does it also mean that when we are in the form realm, right, and once we use up our merits, we will return to the lower realms, most likely the 3 lower realms? Yeah, that's my question.
Okay. A formless desire realms, the 3 realm is a very samsara. Okay. So the pure land can be 2 types. 2 types. One is not the really like a Buddha land. It's much pure, much more peaceful. There's another particular like a land, but this land not include into formless desire. No, but it is not neither samsaric land, not the pure Amitabha Buddha land. There's another particular land, you can born there, you can practice for bodhicitta, then slowly you become a Buddha. So my answer for you, the pure land not include into any of the 3 realms. Also, we should not say the pure land is the formless land, because the being who practice, dharma, everybody has a form, but they have a different types of forms. You must remember there's a 4 different ways, can have a life. So we human being, we born from the womb, like mother womb. Then there's so many, beings you can see, is born or grow from the mud and heat, like a fish, there are so many, like gems, so they grow from the mud and water. Then like a chicken, like a fish, like a snake, most of the snake, they grow from egg. Then the one who born in the pure land, who take a birth into pure land, they were neither born from egg, mud, or mother womb. They call miraculous birth. They're born in the lotus flower. So therefore, we should not think those are the formless. They have a form, but not include into the form realms. Yeah, there's 2 types of pure land. One is a real pure land, which is the Amitabha land. So due to our simple prayer chanting, we cannot be born into the actual Amitabha land, but we can born in the another types of pure land. Yes, next question, please.
Yeah, the next question is from Mayfen. She would like to clarify on karma and merits. So positive thoughts translate to positive energy, which give rise to merits and good karma. Is that true?
Okay. For karma and merit, karma, then virtuous action, then merit. So you need to separate. Karma can be positive karma, negative karma, neutral karma. Whether the karma is positive, negative, neutral is mainly depending on motivation, karma. Then action also, positive actions, negative actions, neutral actions. Generally, action and karma is very similar meaning. Then action, the positive action can be two types. One is just positive action or positive virtues, not merit. Not merit, right? So first you need to differentiate, need to know the meaning, what does mean karma, what does mean actions. It's very similar meaning. Karma has a positive, negative, neutral. The positive, so action has a positive, negative, neutral actions. The merit is always be positive, always positive. It never be negative, never be neutral. Therefore, I just explained many times, without practicing bodhicitta, without practicing selflessness of emptiness, you cannot really accumulate merit. Definitely you can accumulate a lot of positive, a lot of virtuous actions, a lot of positive actions. Yeah. Then the positive action, the positive energy. Also energy can be two types. The inner energy, positive inner energy, then external energy. The external energy, external positive energy, negative energy, neutral energy is mainly depend on the external phenomena. For example, when you go in a very unclean area, you feel bad. When you go very beautiful, clean area, you feel very good. This we call the external energy. Second, we have a inner energy, inner positive energy, negative energy, neutral energy. This also depend on your body. We cannot say the positive action transform into positive energy, the negative action transform into negative energy. We could not say like, we should not say like that. The positive action give the positive result, and the negative action gives the negative result. And positive, negative, depending on the main trigger, which is the motivation. Therefore, many like a Buddhist people, many people they do a lot of religious activities with a negative motivation. Oh, last month, or that family, does this good thing, I must do. They have a kind of negative competition. The action looked like positive actions, but the motivation was not so pure. The action looks good, but the action is actually negative actions. And sometimes the actions look like very negative. For example, the teachers, like a beat to the student or scold the student, or the parents, really scold to the children with the good motivation, pure motivation, with a compassion mind. But the action look like very negative. Actually look negative, actually is a positive actions. Therefore, neither positive, negative based on motivations. And also we should not say positive action necessary to transport positive energy, negative into negative energy. No. So next question, please.
Yeah, thank you, Geshe. So next, we have Samuel would like to clarify. Great compassion, bodhicitta, spirit of enlightenment, are they the same?
Spirit of enlightenment, bodhicitta are same. I don't want to use the spirit of enlightenment. we can use the Sanskrit bodhi chitta. Bodhi means Buddhahood, the complete enlightened state, bodhi. Then chitta, chitta or chit means mind. Mind towards achieving Buddhahood. The spirit is kind of, can be positive, can be negative, can be good, can be, so I prefer to use bodhicitta. Bodhi means the complete enlightened state, or the Buddhahood bodhi. Chit means mind, mind towards achieving Buddhahood. Therefore, bodhicitta, the spirit of enlightenment is exactly same meaning, but better to use the bodhicitta rather than the spirit of enlightenment. Second, great compassion, bodhicitta is totally different. Great compassion is mainly the secondary cause, primary, okay? Secondary cause to generate bodhicitta. So if you know more detailedly, so we have a consciousness. The consciousness can be two, mind and mental factors. The great compassions, love, faith, those are mental factors. Those are not actual mind. So bodhicitta is a mind, great compassion is a mental factor. So it's a bodhicitta and great compassion totally different. Great compassion mainly secondary cause to generate bodhicitta. It never be cause, never be primary cause of bodhicitta, because bodhicitta is a main mind. Great compassion, love are the mental factor. In Tibetan called semjung, compassion, love, tolerance, faith, those are semjung. Bodhicitta is sem, so it's not exactly, totally different. Yes, next question please.
The next question is from Siqi. Her question read like this. Understand that we have to be compassionate to sentient beings. However, would we generate bad karma when we choose to ignore the person who took advantage of our compassion?
If we just ignore, I'm not going to say we accumulate negative karma. Yes, it is not easy to be very compassionate. It's not easy to be very compassionate generally, in general, particularly in this moment, in the 21st century, particularly living in Singapore. It is not really easy to be compassionate. Because this is the time, everybody looking, how I can get benefit, how I can get some, profit from others. So when you are very compassionate, then very easy to take advantage from you. Therefore, we must practice compassion with the wisdom. Wisdom with the, be wise, be compassionate. Be compassionate, be wise. If you are not really wise, if you have a just compassion mind, then for you very easy to cheat it by someone, very easy to deceive by someone. If you have a wisdom, then you can be very compassionate, then nobody going to cheat you, nobody going to deceive you. Also, if you are very wise, if you have good wisdom, somebody know, you feel it, you can know somebody try to advantage from you, take advantage from you, also you know how to overcome this kind of situations. Therefore, just ignore someone is not going to accumulate any negative thoughts, because you want to ignore, you are feel, you're going to get you make somebody going to get you make angry, somebody make you unhappy. That's why you just ignore, neglect. It's not really going to accumulate negative karma. If you have a particular motivation to harm someone, if you have negative motivation to do this, then yes, you can accumulate negative karma. But every moment, with the knowing, without knowing, we have been accumulating something positive, something negative, something both, something neutral. So please, you don't need to worry, too much, something you neglect someone. Yes. This answer for you.
The
Okay.
next questions come from Lawrence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he would like to know, is there a difference between compassion, great compassion, and pure compassion?
Yes, there's a big difference. In the past, I really explained many times. Generally, naturally, we have a love with our relatives or our family. Children love parents, parents love children. Those kind of love or compassion is a kind of compassion is a very impure, because it is influenced, contaminated by attachment. These are, impure is compassion, but it's not, is pure, is impure compassion because influenced by attachment or contaminated by attachment or desire. Look at why parent has a compassion for the children, right? Yes, the children must have a compassion, must have a love for the parents, because parents really rest up, give a lot of energy, give a lot of times, give so many things, really gradually grow up. So we must remember parents are so important, so kind. Why parents really have a love and compassion for children? Have you ever seen why mother love children? Why mother have a compassion for children? This is mainly attachment. Since the parent has the children, the parent possess the children as a mine. This is our. I must take care. I must look after them. It's a very conditioned love. It's a impure love. Yes, this is impure love. Then pure love. For example, when you walk around the street, when you walk around like in India, Indian market or Indian city, it's very, common. You can see so many suffered beings. Someone sleep on the street, someone sleep on between the two highway. No food, no clothes, no shelter. Doesn't matter whether it's hot or cold. They just wear simple, very dirty, smelly blanket. Just sleep in the between two highway. You cannot imagine. Also, they have so many physical, like a disease. When you see someone like that, suddenly you feel compassion. You feel sense of caring. So you give a food, you offer food, clothes. This kind of love and compassion is very pure. It's a very unconditional love and compassion. You don't have any condition. You don't have any relation with a person. This is very pure compassion, very pure love. But this kind of compassion still not yet become great compassion. That's very pure compassion. If you're able to generate for all sentient beings without exception, include your pure enemy, then you have a pure compassion, you have a great compassion, you have a unconditional compassion. Therefore, impure compassion, pure compassion, great compassion are different. One person can have three of together. When you think about your relatives or friend, you have a impure compassion. When you think about a strange person who has a lot of suffering, you have a compassion. Then, when you think about the all sentient being as used to be your dear mother or dear friends, then you have a great compassion. Yes, there's a different impure, pure, great compassions. Okay, we can have one more question. If there's a question, we can have only one more.
Yes, we have last questions from Cheryl. Cheryl, would you mind to unmute yourself?
Yes.
Yeah, her question is pretty long, so maybe I'll try. So Cheryl says that her son is 10 years old, and she has been trying her best to teach him Buddhism in a simple term, to leave him positive imprints and answer his question on daily life. The boy believes that one day we will become Buddha, but bullying is everywhere in every school. His question is, if he always let others beat him, and then Cheryl asks him to run away or ignore or don't beat back, then the boy says that the bully keep on beating him. So other than teaching him compassion and teaching him and thinking maybe this boy has difficulties in their own life, the one that bullied him, we should be compassionate. And how do we make the boy be confident that being compassionate is not being weak? Because his friend at school actually make fun of him as they are not Buddhist, they are Christian.
Yes, thank you so much again this question. Also, thank you so much all of you asking all the questions. Yes, it is so important when we must teach the positive things when they are so young. If we are able to put seed in their mind when they were so young, it stayed there for deeply and for a long time. It is so important to teach the positive thing when they were young, but 10 years is the best time to teach the positive things, particularly compassion. You must teach compassion. Also, you must teach him how himself to protect when somebody bully, somebody harms. Compassion doesn't mean you just let them do whatever they want. Also, when he grow up like 10, 15, 20 years old, he had to be very compassionate, always practice compassion. Somebody criticize with the baseless, he must respond very strongly, very effective way. Right? Must respond, must answer, should not be just accept whatever they said. Or somebody criticize or with the best, or he done something wrong. Also, you must teach, if you did something wrong, somebody criticize you, you must accept and must say sorry. That means you must respond. You should not listen whatever they said. If somebody bullied, he must respond. But after respond, after I have a kind of fighting, then he should not hold the sense of hatred in heart. When the fighting finish, the sense of hatred is gone. Therefore, you must teach, respond, arguing, fighting without sense of hatred, without sense of anger, sense of, correct their actions. Yeah, so it's therefore I told you, you must teach, be compassionate with the wisdom, practice wisdom, be compassionate. Yes, if the children become very compassionate, very soft, very kind, it's very common, other classmates in school, many people, many students will bully him. But slowly, He always be compassionate, patience. Then slowly, I don't think the children continuously every day play or bully or criticize him. Slowly, he will be okay. Okay, so thank you so much for everybody asking all the questions, also attending our discussion class. So then we can see next Saturday. And so also tomorrow we're going to celebrate 85th birthday of His Holiness Dalai Lama. From the office mentioned, who's going to celebrate His Holiness birthday. Everybody recite 1,000, the Mani mantra, Om Mani Padme Hum 1,000. Everybody please recite the mantra for 1,000. And tomorrow you can dedicate the merit of recitation of the mantra. Also, all your merit, please dedicate to have a long life and healthy life of His Holiness Dalai Lama. So thank you so much. At the end, also we dedicate the merit. Also we dedicate the merit to have a healthy and long life for His Holiness Dalai Lama. Include all the lineage gurus. Also dedicate the merit, free us, free all human beings, all countries from the COVID-19. Also now, I think the whole world is very unrest. Particularly, there's a really strong intention between India and China. So many other countries, support India. Look like they're going to have a war. If there's a war between India and China, there's a serious danger to have a third world war. Therefore, please everybody dedicate the merit to reduce the conflicts between India and China. Also, the South China Sea, there's a serious conflicts between different countries. So we dedicate the merit to reduce all kinds of wars, all kinds of conflicts, and particularly dedicate the merit to benefit all your friends and relatives and neighbors.